Hello students, how are you all? Today we are going to discuss chapter 9, Work and Energy. Let's warm up. Answer the questions given below by filling up the missing letters. What causes the football to move when it is kicked? It will be force. So that's how you have to complete these questions. Let's know about what is work, examples of work done or work not done. How much work is done? What is energy? Types of energy, energy resources, renewable and non-renewable energy. The first topic we have, what is work? Have you ever studied for long hours during your examinations and felt very tired? You might feel that you have worked so hard and therefore you are feeling tired and exhausted. However, according to science, you have not done any work at all. In science, the word work has a different meaning than what you are familiar with. In science, work is said to be done when a force applied on a body causes it to be displaced or move through a certain distance in the direction of the force applied. So स्टूडेंट, आप सबको लगता होगा कि यही वर्क है जो हम अपनी डेली लाइफ में करते हैं, बट साइंस में ऐसा नहीं होता है. साइंस में वर्क एक डिफरेंट थिंग है. दैट इज जब आप किसी बॉडी पे कोई फोर्स अप्लाई करते हैं और वो बॉडी जो है मूव करती है थोड़ा बहुत कोई डिस्टेंस या वो डिस्प्लेस होती है, दैट इज वर्क. नाउ वी हैव एग्जांपल्स ऑफ वर्क डन और वर्क नॉट डन. एज वी नो इन साइंस, for work to be done, there has to some movement in the direction of the applied force. So, in the following cases, work is said to be done. A boy playing football or doing skating, shooting a bullet from a revolver, running on a track, pushing a cart in a supermarket, cycling, swimming. So, these are the works which called work in science. Look here, here are some pictures. Swimming, football, a boy is swimming, a boy is playing football, a boy is doing skating, and a boy is running. On the other hand, in the following cases, work is not said to be done, though there is application of force. Look here, studying and preparing for your exams for long hours, sitting in the computer for long hours in the office, pushing a wall applying great force, working out on a treadmill. So, what is this? This is not work done. Okay, students, look here. A boy is studying, a woman is working on computer, a boy pushing a wall, a girl doing workout. A girl is working out on treadmill. So these are the examples of work not done. Look here. In the examples cited above, although studying for your exams requires great amount of mental work, it does not involve any physical work. Since there is no movement or displacement, work is not said to be done. Similar in the case when you are working on your computer on a treadmill, when you try to push a wall by applying great force, the wall does not move and therefore no work is said to be done. That means, student, whenever we talk about some movement, that is work done. ठीक है, जब भी हम किसी मूवमेंट की बात करते हैं तब हम उसको साइंस में वर्क डन बोलते हैं. देखो, जब हम पढ़ाई करते हैं देयर इज टू मच मेंटल वर्क बट देयर इज नो फिजिकल वर्क. सो जब भी हम फिजिकल वर्क करते हैं दैट इज वर्क. ओके स्टूडेंट, हियर इज हाउ मच वर्क इज डन. हाउ कैन वी डिटरमाइन हाउ मच वर्क इज बीइंग डन? लेट अस अज्यूम दैट Sahil has applied some force to move an auto rickshaw through a distance of 10 meters. Since movement has taken place in the direction of the force applied, work is said to be done. सो स्टूडेंट, आप एज्यूम करो साहिल ने किसी ऑटो रिक्शा पे फोर्स अप्लाई किया. वो जो फोर्स आपने अप्लाई किया उससे ऑटो रिक्शा कितने डिस्टेंस पे चली गई बच्चा? 10 मीटर्स. सारन हैज अप्लाइड सम फोर्स टू मूव अ कार थ्रू अ डिस्टेंस ऑफ 10 meters. Since the weight of the car is double the weight of the auto rickshaw, he has to apply double the force. So double the work is done. That means student, it depends आप कैसा काम कर रहे हैं, किस ऑब्जेक्ट के साथ काम कर रहे हैं. जैसे ऑटो रिक्शा का वेट आपकी कार्स के वेट से कम होता है, सो दैट मीन्स साहिल ने कम काम किया इन कंपैरिजन ऑफ सारन. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, जितना ज्यादा फोर्स अप्लाई होगा उतना ज्यादा काम होगा. Therefore, work done depends on the force applied. In another case, Rahul used some force to push his bike for 10 meters. He said to have done some work. Rohan uses some force to push his bike for a distance of 20 meters. He is said to have done double the work. Therefore, work done also depends on the distance moved. So, students, आपका work किस पे depend करता है? Force applied and distance moved. Get it? Here is we have an activity aim to see the relation between the force applied and displacement. Now, student, हम ये activity perform करेंगे relationship find करने के लिए between the force applied and the displacement. Materials required: a big and a small ruler, marbles, one big and one small, a styrofoam cup, a paper card, a shallow tape, etc. Procedure: place the styrofoam cup upside down on a table and fix it securely with the help of shallow tape. Now make an incline using the ruler from the top of the styrofoam cup to the top of the table. At the base of the incline, place the paper card. Now slide the marble from different sides along the incline and note the distance moved by the paper card. For example, 2 cm above the base of the incline, 4 cm above the base of incline, 8 cm above the base of incline, etc. Accordingly, note the distance moved by the paper card. Note down your observation in a tabular manner. So what you will do, जब आप फोर्स अप्लाई करेंगे वो कितना डिस्टेंस पेपर कार्ड आपका मूव कर रहा है वो आपने ऑब्जर्व करनी है. सो उससे आपको एक रिलेशन मिलेगी और आपने वो ऑब्जर्वेशन जो लिखना है वो एक टेबुलर फॉर्म में लिखना है. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ वी हैव चेक एंड मेट. As we already read about these things, so you can do it by yourself. Do you know the word energy comes from the Greek word energia. Most types of energies are either a form of kinetic energy or potential energy. The law of conservation of energy states that energy can only be transformed, it cannot be created or destroyed. Food contains chemical energy which is used by living organisms such as animals to grow and reproduce. Food energy is usually measured in calories or joules. Now we have what is energy. The term energy is very closely associated with work. When an athlete runs a race or a swimmer swims, he becomes tired and exhausted. Whenever work is done, energy is used up. Energy is the capacity to do work. Energy has to be supplied to the body by means of energy-giving foods. Carbohydrates and fats are some examples of energy-giving foods. Cereals, sugar, potatoes are examples of carbohydrates. Oil, ghee, nuts, butter, cheese are examples of food containing fats. The amount of energy needed by different people depends on the nature of work that they do. For example, a daily laborer or an athlete needs more energy than a computer professional. So student, अगर हम एनर्जी को रिलेट करें तो वो क्या होता है, वो कैपेसिटी जितना आप वर्क कर सकते हो, दैट इज एनर्जी. जब हम काम करते हैं तो एनर्जी यूज होती है, तो एनर्जी और वर्क इंटर रिलेटेड है. ठीक है, और हम अगर अपनी बात करें तो हमें एनर्जी कहाँ से मिलती है, एनर्जी गिविंग फूड से मिलती है, जैसे कार्बोहाइड्रेट और फैट्स. और हमें बहुत सारे फूड आइटम्स है जिनसे कार्बोहाइड्रेट मिलता है और बहुत सारे आइटम्स ऐसे हैं जिनसे हमें फैट मिलता है. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, डू यू नो every day there are over 8 million lightning strikes across the world. Each bolt superheats the air around it to about 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 times hotter than the sun. 1 hour's worth of energy from the sun could power the earth for a year. 8 people riding bikes for 24 hours can generate enough power to run a TV for a week. Mount Everest is a minnow compared of the world's deepest oil well. Now we have types of energy. Energy can be classified into various types. For example, mechanical energy, kinetic energy, chemical energy, electrical energy, heat energy, light energy, sound energy, wind energy, solar energy, etc. So these are the different types of energy. Energy can broadly classified under two forms, kinetic energy and potential energy. Here, kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its motion. Example, a fast-moving car or an arrow that is shot possesses kinetic energy. So students, energy mainly दो type की होती है, that is kinetic and potential. और kinetic energy किसी body के motion से produce होती है. Like काइनेटिक एनर्जी किसी भी बॉडी के मोशन से प्रोड्यूस होती है, जैसे फास्ट मूविंग कार और कोई एरो जिसको शूट कर दिया गया हो। नाउ वी हैव पोटेंशियल एनर्जी। Potential energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its position. Example, a raised hammer has great energy. This form of energy is called potential energy. और जो एनर्जी आपकी पोजीशन से रिलेटेड होती है, that is potential energy. Now we have mechanical energy. It is the energy that can be used to do work. It is the sum of both potential and kinetic energy. A demolition machine is a perfect example of possessing mechanical energy. When the wrecking ball is raised vertically above the ground, it is said to possess potential energy. When the ball is released to hit a wall, it possesses kinetic energy, which helps to break the wall. So that's how demolition machine work, and it is the perfect example of mechanical energy. Look here, here's some pictures. Moving car, a demolition machine. Now we have electrical energy. It is the movement of charged particles, negative and positive. This form of energy can come from batteries or power plants and is also used and is also found in nature. Power plants burn fuel to make electricity, which is then sent to houses and industries through wires. This energy is then used to run appliances. सो स्टूडेंट, इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी आपको अपने घरों में देखने को मिल सकती है और ये किसकी मूवमेंट से होती है? नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव चार्ज की मूवमेंट से होती है। नाउ वी हैव लाइट एनर्जी। द मेन सोर्स ऑफ लाइट एनर्जी इज द सन। लाइट एनर्जी इज यूज्ड बाय द प्लांट्स टू मेक फूड बाय अ प्रोसेस कॉल्ड फोटोसिंथेसिस। Scientists use it to create lasers. In a solar cell, light energy is converted into electric energy. Electric bulbs, candles, tube lights, etc. are other sources of light energy. Look here, here's a picture of solar cells. Now we have thermal or heat energy. This energy is created due to vibration of atoms and molecules inside substances. The faster they move, the more energy they create and the hotter they become. Example, water boiling in a kettle possesses thermal energy. So student, थर्मल और हीट एनर्जी कैसे क्रिएट होती है? वाइब्रेशन होता है जब एटम्स और मॉलिक्यूल्स में जितना ज्यादा वो फास्ट मूव करते हैं उतनी ज्यादा एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस होती है। Here we have chemical energy. It is the energy stored in the bonds of atoms and molecules. This energy is released in a chemical reaction in the form of heat. Example, during burning of coal, chemical energy is changed into light and heat energy. तो स्टूडेंट, केमिकल एनर्जी बॉन्ड्स में प्रेजेंट होती है जो मॉलिक्यूल्स और एटम्स के बीच में होती है। जब भी हम कोई केमिकल रिएक्शन कराते हैं तो वो हीट की फॉर्म में बाहर आती है। नाउ वी हैव साउंड एनर्जी. इट इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी दैट इज प्रोड्यूस्ड ड्यू टू वाइब्रेशन ऑफ पार्टिकल्स. एग्जांपल्स, सोनार यूजेस साउंड वेव्स टू डिटेक्ट एंड डिटरमाइन द लोकेशन, साइज एंड रिलेटिव मोशन ऑफ अंडर वाटर ऑब्जेक्ट्स. द यूज ऑफ सोनार सिस्टम इज यूजफुल in detecting icebergs at sea. Now, energy resources, renewable and non-renewable. The sources of energy may be divided into two categories, renewable and non-renewable energy resources. Non-renewable energy resources are those that are available in short supply in nature. They take millions of years to regenerate if they are exhausted. For example, coal, petroleum and natural gas, etc. So student, नॉन रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज ऑफ एनर्जी क्या होते हैं? जिनको आप रीजनरेट इजीली नहीं कर सकते हैं और अगर वो खत्म हो जाते हैं तो मिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स लगते हैं उनको रीजनरेट करने में. एग्जांपल, वी हैव ऑयल, नेचुरल गैस, कोल, न्यूक्लियर पावर. हियर कोल. Coal is a natural resource that is formed from the remains of trees and other vegetation that are buried under the earth's surface millions of years ago. Now, second we have petroleum. Petroleum is a fossil fuel that is formed from the remains of ancient marine organisms that were buried millions of years ago. Next, we have natural gas. Natural gas is also formed along with petroleum under the oceans when marine animals die and are buried millions of years ago. So, student, ये different type के आप के non-renewable resources हैं एनर्जी की. नाउ वी हैव रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी रिसोर्सेज. Renewable energy resources are those that may be replenished naturally once they are exhausted and over a relatively short period of time. Examples of renewable energy resources are wind, water, solar, biomass and geothermal energy resources. So स्टूडेंट ये क्या है, अगर वो एग्जॉस्टेड भी हो जाते हैं रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज, वो कुछ टाइम पीरियड के बाद दोबारा हमारे पास हो जाते हैं, तो वो बहुत शॉर्ट टाइम पीरियड होता है जिसमें आप उनको रीजनरेट करा सकते हैं. लाइक वी हैव सोलर, बायोमास, विंड, जियोथर्मल. Again, we have check and mate, as we already read about these things, so you can do it by yourself. Do you know windmills have been in use since 2000 BC and were first developed in Persia and China. Ancient mariners sailed to distant lands by making use of winds. Farmers used wind power to pump water and for grinding grains. Second, biomass energy currently meets about 10% of human energy needs around the world. Solar energy is cheaper than fossil fuels and solar power plant can last for 40 years or more. China is the world leader in solar energy. The largest hydroelectric power station in the world is the Three Gorges Dam in China. Humans have enjoyed geothermal energy in the form of hot springs for thousands of years. What we learn in this chapter, now we will discuss it in a nutshell. Work. Work is said to be done when a force applied on a body causes it to be displaced or moved through a certain distance in the direction of the force applied. In science, work is said to be done if there is some movement in the direction of the applied force. If there is no movement in the direction of the applied force, no work is done. Work done depends on the force applied and also on the distance moved. Energy is the capacity to do work. Energy can be broadly classified into potential and kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its position. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its motion. Mechanical energy is the sum of the both potential and kinetic energies. Other forms of energy are electrical energy, light energy, thermal energy, chemical energy, sound energy, etc. Energy resources may be either renewable or non-renewable. Non-renewable energy resources are coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Renewable energy resources are wind, solar, and water resources, to name a few. Now we have some keywords. Exhausted, very tired and worn out. Resource, a useful or valuable thing. Displacement, the act of moving something from its original position. Sonar, a system of detecting objects underwater by emitting sound waves and receiving them back. Thank you, students. We will meet again in the next chapter.